A well-built, properly maintained car can last you almost forever. It can last you close to a lifetime. Now, the properly maintained part, that's on you. We'll get to that in a second. The well-built part will never, ever happen. Few car companies come close, but it will never happen. We'll get to that in a moment. First, let's start with the question. When you're driving your nice, expensive, fancy car, your Lambo, or your Tesla, or whatever it is you're driving, tell me something. Do you have to follow the same rules of the road as the rest of us? Yeah, you do? Then please explain to me what's so special about your car. I'll give you a moment to think about that. The only purpose of a car is transportation. It gets you from point A to point B. Everything else is a bonus. If there is anything else, let's be honest. You have entertainment in your car, it's just a bonus. Not really a necessity. You don't really need it. I personally drive. I've never driven a new car. I've always had used cars. That right there is a sanitation truck. They're cleaning up all the snow. Transportation, nothing fancy. Has to follow the rules of the road. They even have special rules they have to follow. Now let's get to the properly maintained part, because that is on you. But the properly maintained part is very expensive to do, let's be honest. And that's on purpose. It gets to the point where a car becomes so expensive to maintain that it only makes sense to go and buy a new car. The well-built part of this is, well, if you build something too well, then people won't need to get another one. Well, no time soon anyway. So that means you have to buy another one. You see, in the world of business, the real money, the big money, doesn't come from selling you a product. It comes from selling you a product and then selling you another product and then selling you another product. It's in repeat business. Now, the reason well-built cars will never be made is, like I said, you won't get that repeat business. Besides, dealerships would pretty much go out of business if that were the case. And if they didn't make maintaining the car so expensive, and you could properly maintain the car, then dealerships would go out of business. And so would car companies, let's be honest. Now, I threw out a question of why doesn't car parts lose value as the car loses value? Because you make it cheaper to maintain the car, and you could probably maintain the car, and you could keep your cars a lot longer, and then you wouldn't be a repeat customer anymore. That's the same reason there'll never be a well-built car, because there would not be any repeat business. You're starting to get the picture here, ladies and gentlemen? See, the point is that they can do these things, they just don't, because they need you to keep buying. Imagine how much money you would save if it were cheaper to maintain your car. How many of you would still have one of your old cars? Let's say for a moment that car companies had to prove that every year, every new model of their car was an improvement to the old model, therefore justifying why they're making the newer model car. You know what would happen? Car companies would not put out cars every year. Because the truth of the matter is that a 2021 car is pretty much the same as a 2015 car. They make certain parts different sizes so that you can't just swap out parts easily from this car to that car. But the car is built the same, it's run the same, it's maintained the same. I guess my question to everybody is, why do we keep accepting this from companies? Their product isn't getting any better, yet we are insistent on paying more money for an inferior product. And I don't get it. But that's the scam that we run into on a daily basis. And it's not just the auto industry. But if the auto industry really had to improve on its product before they put the product out, car companies would put out a new model car every 7 years, like video game companies. Which video game companies do the same thing, let's be honest. They put out the same product year after year after year. Same thing with technology, cell phones and electronics. They put out the same thing every single year. They may make one little tweak to it and say, hey, newer model. And it's really not. And we all fall for this. And they're allowed to do this because, well, repeat business is good for the economy. That's what really keeps our economy going, is repeat business. People buying crap that they don't need over and over and over again. People going places they don't need to go. That's what our economy is based on. It's just, like I said before, it's all a scam designed to take your money. And you just keep giving it to them. Which is not really a problem if you can afford it. Then again, it's really not a problem if you can't afford it. Because then you just wouldn't buy it. Oh wait, yes you would. It's called debt.